everyone, it's Carolyn here to share more channeled messages. This time it is Celeste and me again. And we kind of get starting as we usually do, where, we're just talking and catching up and wondering if this will ever be a video. So today what we're talking about is just kind of where we are at individually on all of what is going on in the world with the virus and society in general. And then we touch on some interesting pieces of all of this and how it's affecting us all individually, kind of where we're at with it with respect to how we individually react and maybe what we feel our roles are. So it's an interesting discussion. I hope you enjoy it. And again, as always, we channel. I've also included Celeste's information below. You'll see a little bit of a description as well in the description box. You can connect with her for the services that she offers. Anyway, thank you all of you who are joining me today. I'm Carolyn, I'm a channel, I'm a distance energy healer, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor. And I offer channels from the Light Keepers as well as these conversations with Celeste and me where we also channel so you can have assistance and support on your awakening and ascension journey. So thanks again for joining me today. If you are new, I would love if you like, share, and subscribe, as well as below in the description box, you're going to find a free video that I created for you on flow and how to create it in your body for health and wellness. And as we know, more than ever, it's important to do self-care. So check that out. It also leads you to more free content through my weekly email list where I send a channeled message each week from the Light Keepers, as well as an occasional other email of support. So with that today, I'm just going to go ahead and get going and let you go ahead and watch the video. And then at the end, I'm going to have some commentary. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you are well. And I'm just going to say something right now, whether this turns into a video or not. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I am going to not edit like I did previously. I want everybody to know this, which the editing takes out a lot of the space between our conversation, between you and me talking, which makes it also look like it's kind of, we're kind of, I guess I would say I'm overlapping you or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I also am going to work on writing down, which means I need to get my paper out, writing down my channels instead of just blurting them out, because I do tend to just talk because I'm so used to channeling on my own, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to try that. And so if anybody's watching this, and this is a video, you just need to know there are going to be probably a lot of pauses, quiet time in between, at least maybe with me because I'll be writing. So we're going to try this a little differently. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sound okay?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay. Because, yeah. So how are you today?
Well, starting yesterday, I have been really feeling a lot of emotions, like my heart is breaking open even more so than ever. So I had a lot of tearful moments yesterday, and it was challenging because it's right there under the surface, right? So even today, like it's not let up at all. Yeah, so it's been really challenging and interesting, and I've become more reflective, pondering like what does this mean? All these emotions coming up, the sadness, and it also feels really overwhelming. Like my heart is just like, and now I'm like, whoa, there's so much emotion, all kinds of emotions, right? So not just sadness, but there's anger there, there's suffering. That's it. That's the bubble that I'm going to encase all of these emotions inside of. Its suffering.
So it's interesting you're saying that, because this morning when I woke up, well, actually this was last night, and by the way, this is Sunday the 5th. I don't know when this is going to get posted, but yeah. Sunday the 5th. So anyway, I was getting ready to go to bed last night, and all I heard before I went to bed was April showers bring May flowers. I woke up to the same thing this morning. April showers bring May flowers. It's one of the first things I heard. And but I do feel like this is a defining moment for this whole situation. And obviously we're talking about the virus and what's happening in the collective. Mm-hmm. around the world, because it's not just the United States, but now since we're in the United States, we're seeing April's going to be obviously they just said the kicker of the month, or kicker of the virus, like the month of the virus. Do you know what I'm saying? Like where we reach our peak, it seems. So to that end, I too was feeling this morning overwhelming emotion, and I knew it wasn't all mine.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly. And I know we've talked about, or I have talked about this in one of my videos before, where I was feeling a lot of emotion early on when this all started, but this is different. And I'm just going to jump to this next piece here, which I think will lead us to some conversation, and some channeling. But what I was told was that this is the collective heart chakra opening. This expansiveness, they just said, of who we are to become. Okay, they just said we will never look back. Now, they're talking collectively. I know, understand in pockets, people are just, we don't know how that's going to all work out, right? But that's what I'm hearing.
I'm hearing that too, that this virus has a purpose.
Yeah.
And part of that purpose is to wake people up and help them to open up their chakras, their heart chakra specifically, for themselves and others. So it's not just people processing their own traumas or past life stuff or current life stuff. It is to awaken them to the fact that we are all one, right? We are kindred.
Right. And there's actually something happening right now. I mean, today, like this is,
yes.
Something has shifted dramatically. Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. Something has happened as of this last 24 hours. I mean, you can feel the expansion of the collective. And again, it's the heart space. And I'm just going to tell you what happened with me yesterday is I was out hiking and it was pretty busy. Well, for Iowa, right? And, every, I don't know, 5 minutes, maybe I ran into somebody. However, what I noticed was most people, or 50% of the people, were wearing masks. Now, our state doesn't have any, well, that's not true. We don't have a shelter in place. We are to avoid going out, obviously, just like everybody else, but we can still go hike and do those things. What I noticed was a lot more masks, obviously, because that's now become a national recommendation. I also noticed very much the social, people are very aware of what to do and not to do. All of a sudden, I started to feel this, but this is where this kind of all started as I started to connect with other people and kind of how they were feeling. And then I noticed last night something had shifted and changed. And then this morning, it really hit me hard. Like I think it did you, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I think, or not, well, what I'm picking up, by the way, my third eye is buzzing like crazy right now. And it has been for the last couple of days, but right now it's like really, really buzzing. No, but what I'm picking up is that this month is going to be super challenging for a lot of people in the United States, right? Because it feels like we're kind of behind the curve, compared to some of the other countries. And we're definitely, like, I'm in Oregon and it's definitely different here. And now more people are wearing masks and so forth. But I think that things are going to amp up as far as different, cases. The number of cases are going to increase, and that is going to break people's hearts open even more. Like the ones who are struggling to have their heart space opening up.
Right.
Like this is what you said earlier about April showers bring May flowers. I think this is going to be a tough month.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because we've talked about the curve. I mean, I don't think that's changed with you. If it has, tell me. But I still see the curves like things starting to drop off like end of April, 1st of May.
Yeah. Yeah.
down it. But um, what's interesting being a light worker in all of this, being awakened and all that. I think we're all light workers. Sorry, I could go on and on about that in our own way. We just haven't awakened, some of us, to that, right? So we're trying to all be the best we can be. We just don't know it sometimes, right? So anyway, those of us who are awakening right now, I think a lot of us think that, because this is where I was, we have to have joy and happiness and hold that space and feel good about all of this and like really hold an anchor. And yeah, that's important. But what I've realized today is some of us, and a lot, I don't know if it's some of us or all of us, and maybe we'll get some information here after I speak this, but some of us are clearing the emotion for the collective. Now, maybe that's not everybody because, okay, I just heard, no, it's not.
It's not everybody.
Yeah. And so what, anyway, point is I was in that category of, okay, I'm going to stay status quo. I'm going to stay away from news. I'm going to, which I do understand doing that, and social media and all this, and stay happy and joyful. Well, I'm not able to do that. Okay. Not that I'm all sad all day long, but I do feel a heaviness. And I've realized, oh my gosh, that's because I'm trying to be what I'm not in this space and time. I need to let my emotion flow. I need to cry when I need to cry, not go, oh wait, no, be joyful. And if I feel like, just lying on my bed and pounding in my pillow, I need to do that, because what's happening with me is it's not just all me. I'm processing and transmuting that energy for the collective as well. So I finally think I have figured out today part of my role, right? Because I've sat and thought, and I think I mentioned this to you, I feel like I should be doing something else because I'm very active and I'm usually frontline, like with people doing stuff. I can't do that now in that sense,
Right.
So I think that's a very, I think a lot of us who are awakening, categorize ourselves as light workers, think we have to be, smiley face all the time and not suppress all that.
And that I would call that spiritual bypassing. Right? It's this attempt to let go of the ego and let go of the human emotional side. And that's not, we are here having a human experience. And part of that is the emotional side, right?
Yeah, I don't know if everybody knows they're doing the spiritual bypassing part. I think they're trying to do it's like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to be,
to keep our vibration high, right?
Right.
In order to have a positive impact on the collective. But right now, that's not what's necessary or needed, at least not for me personally, right? So for me, because I wonder, I have a lot of friends and acquaintances who are like, hey, join this meditation. Hey, do this. Hey, get together with us. And the last couple of months have been very internally focused for me. Like I've really, and granted, this is my own experience, I've really started cocooning and going within and processing my own past life stuff and my current life stuff and processing and releasing and all of that. And it switched. I think when this virus showed up, like at the beginning of the month where everything really kind of hit the fan, it's switched. And now it's not just me processing and releasing my own stuff. And especially yesterday and today, it's all about helping the collective. So I feel a little bit better that I am helping the collective in my own way while also doing my own personal work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. Now, what they're saying to me, I'm going to make a couple points here. What they're saying to me is that there are definitely, and I had a big question about this about a week or two ago, there are definitely categories of people who, how do I want to say this, are the ones that aren't where we are doing the transmuting the collective emotion. They're at this, we're going to be joyful and happy because they're the ones. Okay, so we're in different categories is what they're saying. And you're going to all kind of find your own space, but you got to go with what feels right for you, because I was trying to be something I wasn't. And so what they're saying, and I remember running into one of these groups, because I'm not really into the getting out and to see groups, but I ran into one a couple weeks ago where it was like smiley faces, all love and light. It kind of felt culty, only then I realized as I was getting some of the information, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything's everything is beautiful. They just brought that song in. Remember that? It's a really old one. I think it's Glenn Campbell. I don't. Everything is beautiful in its own. Anyway, so, sorry. Um, but anyway, what they're saying is there are categories of people who that's their gig. That's that they feel it, that they're holding that high vibration. Whereas, okay, now they're showing me, and I have chills. Other groups of people, which you and I apparently fall into, where we're clearers, we're clearing the collective like human emotion, because you and I are very much with the work that we do, we are very much working with okay, they just said the typical human, you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
we are right there with the average individual in the world, right? But some people are doing that other work. So during these crisis times, what they're saying to me is there are categories, and it's like you start figuring out where you fit in. You can't like I can no longer be the no, I'll go in and out of that, but I can no longer be the one I thought I should be. You know what I mean? I'm not. I'm carrying the emotion, and now I have to find a way to process it and not stuff it away and do this thing. Because like they said to me today, they said, Carolyn, you know what happens to you when you don't process emotion? Forget whether it's yours or the collective's. Mine all goes to my neck, and I'm a disaster. Like, it's really bad. So I started feeling that today, and I realized, oh my gosh. So anyway, that point is we are during crisis times, we fall into different categories. That's so fascinating.
Yeah. And those categories were chosen before we even came in to this life, right? So yeah, some of us are doing it in a collective fashion, doing meditations together or in groups or what have you. And then some of us are just really anchoring in and being, what's the word? Like, I guess, a channel or a hose almost for all of the emotions to come out and be processed and released. Yeah. But it can be, so for those of you out there who are in the same place that Carolyn and I are, it can be really overwhelming.
Especially when you didn't think you were in that category or that you were trying to force yourself into another category. And I just heard, as you were talking, Celeste, it's go time. So, I mean, in other words, what's your place in this? Okay, what is your figuring out what your place is? Now, I'm going to reference back because they're wanting me to talk about this part, the group meditations that are kind of prevalent right now.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting over the last couple of days. I'm like, and I've been like this in my awakening, like I'm trying to find a group thing to do or group. And then I've quickly noticed that I'm not looking for it. I'm not finding it. I'm kind of like, it's not my thing. I'm very much an individual doing a part. I don't do a lot of group work. I realized that last night when I was yesterday when I was looking for a 4-4 thing to do.
Yeah.
And I quickly lost interest just because that's not me, right? And so some of these things, these group collective meditations, they're super powerful.
Oh yeah.
Not for everybody, and you're going to feel it. Now, I'm also getting, very much they're talking about, they're saying many of you are individuals that have your own role to play that will not have anything to do necessarily interacting with another human. Okay, so that makes sense, right? Especially
that
now.
Makes total sense. Yeah, that makes total sense. You know, what I'm getting is that more and more of us are going to become aware of what we're here to do now during this month, especially. Like I'm almost seeing like this blossoming flower, right? So when it's in a bud, we're not quite sure. We know something's changing, but we don't know what is changing exactly. But with all of this internal work that we're doing while we're in quarantine and during our sleep time, it's going to become more and more evident of what our role is. And it might not be the full picture, but we're going to know what the next step is. So some of us now are finding out that, okay, so doing group work is not maybe for us, just as an example. Maybe our work is more individual work. And so, so going forward, paying attention to the signs and the nudges that you're getting to figure out, well, what am I supposed to do?
Okay. So as you were talking, they said this is the month of finding your role in this particular global event. Okay. Doesn't mean you don't have other things you're doing. Like a lot of us have other things like you and I, right? But
Right.
on the side, as you're just find your role in processing, in processing. And processing is meditations, like what we talked about in emotions, being in the group that I mentioned that was like kind of felt like, oh, they're way too happy, right? Like holding the high vibe. But there are a lot that are supposed to do that. I came to a realization of that where I was kind of going, what is that? You know, and so they said, go internal and listen to your emotions. And so what they're saying too right now is that they feel a lot of people, and when they're talking people, we're talking those who are awakening and consciously aware of this, right? Are making an attempt to ignore their feelings.
Oh.
Because they think they have to be the light worker. Do you know what I mean? Like that they can't, which is real interesting, like kind of going with maybe what they think they're supposed to do, when in reality, we are brought human emotion to be able to express it out so it doesn't, again, obviously stay internal to us. And we're also, in whatever way that means for you, but they're saying, listen to your emotions. Like, what do you intuitively feel? Are you having things like I did where I was like kind of turned away from group meditations, yet I was trying to force myself to do them. And thing. And so this is like a huge awareness for me, particularly in the last like 12 hours of like, oh my God, this is a thing where this is, now we have a role, but you got to kind of figure out what it is, what makes sense for you to do. And maybe, you know what they're saying to me?
What? Okay.
There's even a role for people who do nothing but just sleep so much.
Yep.
Like the depressive side of, like, kind of like I can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? But that's still doing something.
But they're still doing something. Either for themselves or for the collective. It doesn't matter. They're still doing something. But here's the thing. This whole situation with the virus is, it is helping people to face their emotions, because how many folks are always shopping, going out to eat, going out, doing something. They're always busy, and they don't have enough time to be with their own thoughts and emotions.
Yeah, they're saying face yourself. I mean,
yes. So them being locked in their homes, either with their families or with themselves, it allows them opportunity to start being in their own head.
Yep, they're saying the trueness of you, the trueness of you. And I mentioned this to you the other day, that, not everybody obviously is, some people are in the front lines, whether that be from being a cashier at Walmart or working in a grocery store
or doctor.
Well, that's where I was going next, or the whole medical community. This is actually, it's so interesting. This is actually in their soul plan. Like this is one of their most, now I know this is going kind of in a different direction, I realize, but what they're saying is this is in their soul plan. This is, okay, so they always say go time. This is their go time. And here's the thing, which is interesting, and I'm just going to say it. We can all sit here and say, and there's a number of viewers that are going to be people who are working as clerks at Walmart. Well, you know how sometimes we do in society where we think, well, that's not an important job, a clerk at Walmart, cashier, right? Okay, and then you think the medical community, you always like, ooh, yeah. No, they said that's the misunderstanding in humankind with respect. See, that's that whole thing we do. We classify.
Yeah. No, I agree. Can I share something real quick? Okay, I'm going to share a picture that I took that somebody actually posted outside of their house, and it's just I'm going to see if this works. Okay.
Sure.
But I love it. And I think it applies to everybody. So let's see if it'll work.
Oh, it's coming in. Even if your job is not essential, you still are. See, right, exactly.
So
But my point in that is that though I'm glad you brought that up, because what they're saying is, I'm just going to keep using the Walmart cashier as an example.
yeah.
That's essential. That like right now, you may have, I'm just going to keep going on the Walmart thing. You may have dissed Walmart and like, I don't like, well, okay, well, there's a role here, obviously, right now. I mean, good heavens, you can argue all day long about it, but they're essential for us. If everybody shut down tomorrow and said, I'm not doing my clerk job.
Yeah. I think that what you were saying earlier, that everybody has a role to play, even if it doesn't look important on the outside.
Right. And we've segued into like the physical action job role conversation. The energetic role, or even like when we're not talking about jobs, the pieces that we talked about earlier, how do you participate in assisting the collective, right? There's that piece too, because a lot of viewers, a lot of people out there, they're still working in their jobs in one way or another.
Right.
They're human jobs, I'll just say, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We're all playing a part.
Yeah. April showers bring May flowers. That is so interesting that they keep bringing that to me. Yeah. I mean,
but here's the thing, when you say that, I actually feel pretty hopeful about May.
Well, that's why they said it, I think. I don't think, I mean, absolutely.
I think this month of April is going to be pretty challenging, and on many different levels, right? So energetically and with the virus, all of that. And then I think things are going to really shift in a positive way. And I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm just getting, is that May is it's going to be different. It's going to be that blossoming.
Yep.
But okay, so is it okay if I kind of shift to something else that keeps coming through?
Yeah, but can you hang on? Because I want to finish what you said. I have something.
Oh, yeah, please.
I want to add something there. So what they're saying to me very clearly is, okay, they just said what remains to be seen is the impact and how the adjustment will come societally in the months to come. And they're really giving me the sense that 2020 is just societally extremely tough, like very tough. So let's say the virus like literally evaporates off the face of the earth, which would be wonderful, wouldn't it? At the end of May. We have a lot of work to do to even come back to some sense of normality. Normalcy is what they're giving. So the societal part of this is the real test.
Yeah.
In many ways. Well, there's two different types. There's two different stages of the testing. Okay. That's right. We've got this piece now where how are we going to behave? How are we going to act? What are we going to do during this phase of the virus? And then the next is like the collective deep breath and now what?
Yeah.
I'm very much getting this as a whole 2020 thing.
You know what? I think it is too. I think it's the whole year is going to be.
Okay, they just said something. I have to say it fast or I'm going to lose it. They said, in 2020, you will find a new version of humankind. You will never look back. You will never be the same. You will now move into your glory. Even though it looks like you are not, you will be doing it in fits and starts. It is your new glory to come. See, this is, okay, that's cool. Oh, I have chills. So
I do too. I love it.
We have a tendency to think that as we see, okay, so we see things in time, right? Here as humans. As we see things not working, or not being the way we want to, and not having it done fast enough, things are getting worse. That's not the case necessarily. Because we have to do that to get to the better. So what I'm seeing is this happening with us. This is the societal part, is we're doing this, and then things are like this, and then there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this. So you're like, that's that 2 steps forward, 1 step back thing.
Yeah.
Or the societal part of this. What are we going to be? Who are we going to become?
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about the new glory, our new glory. Now that's not overnight.
No.
And they're not going to give us time frames, but I can get, from what I'm very much getting is 2020. Okay, they said a kick in the pants. Okay, sorry, I just got to get this all out. Kick in the pants, because the kick in the pants is the, okay, this is out of the cradle after the virus has subsided. Kick in the pants of, okay, now, like, and you're out of the cradle, now you got to start walking again. This is what they're showing the baby. They're showing the baby walking. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yes, and you know what I'm getting is a global shakeup.
Oh,
global shakeup. This whole year is about the global shakeup.
What are we going to look like moving forward? And you know what they're showing me? They're now showing me, and they use this analogy a lot for individual people that I work with, but they're showing all of us, the world collective, in the cocoon of the butterfly. We're in the mushy stage. Like 2020 is this, you know how the caterpillar turns into mush, re-evolves into the butterfly? This year, we're in the mush. Like we're right now, that caterpillar has created its cocoon. And we've just turned to mush, but we're not through that at all. Like we're in that stage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah.
I know that came on the heels of your piece that you had something to say, but I had to get that out. So
no, that's good. Thank you.
What was your?
Okay, so I'm kind of turning left here.
That's okay.
But what keeps coming up is like Earth events. So the Earth too is going through her awakening, and so it kind of goes back to our video, the rock and roll video. I keep hearing that the Earth too is going to go through a global shakeup.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought this up because a whole chunk of stuff came in this morning and I completely forgot until you said. Can you share it real quick? It was in the middle of the night, actually, and then I'll let you go. Again, I'm like really worried about interrupting you. Okay. So what they showed me, I think if I woke up in the middle of the night last night, or it was right before I went to bed, and might have been in a meditation. Anyway, they said that, and this is so interesting, I never thought about this before. So we got the Earth and we have us going through this, but we're part of Earth, okay? They're saying as we express out and feel the emotion and our heart chakras open, and we have this expression of beauty in whatever way you want to define it, you know, people helping out, people, everything, name it. That expression of heart opening, guess what? We're healing the Earth too. We're expressing out the energy from the Earth into us to express out, to help assist in those times. And yes, Earth is a live being and will express on its own, but we're assisting in this because we're bringing in love and light. And we're raising ourselves into a higher vibration. Again, they're showing me, and I say this all the time, the Whoville people.
Yes.
We always said the Grinch was the virus in the case they're trying to make to me. And the Whoville people, as we continue to sing and raise vibration, they're happy for what they have. They start building and they have community. And so as we feel, as we express our emotion, as we do our thing to assist in whatever way that means for us, we're offering to the Earth.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. And so what I am getting is that this relationship that we have with the Earth is that by us doing our work, those of us who have that role, it is going to mitigate a lot of the disasters that the Earth might go through, like earthquakes and tsunamis and hurricanes and stuff like that. It's actually not that those things aren't going to still happen, because all day, actually for the last week, I had a dream about a tsunami. It keeps coming up in my awareness, a tsunami. I'm not sure what that means. I don't even know where or anything like that.
Whether literal or figurative, yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely a tsunami of emotions. At least that's what I'm experiencing.
That's the thing. It may not
but
be
it also feels earth-based. I feel like there are some things that are going to happen in this year with the earth and how she releases her energy and how she's processing and ascending as well. So there are still going to be quote unquote disasters, but it ties into our relationship with her.
Okay, so what they said to me as you were saying that was, you are not separate from the earth. In your emotion, you process hers, which goes to what you said. Oh, they just said the word temper. We temper the earth. We can temper the earth event.
Oh, well, that makes perfect sense. As we ascend, as we go through our process, yes, that makes perfect sense. Yep, that totally resonates with me.
So people, if you got tears, cry 'em.
Yes, yeah. Please do not be gentle with yourself right now more than ever. And the feelings, do not hold them back. It can be uncomfortable to cry and or be angry, because sometimes that comes up too, but let yourself be that funnel for all these emotions to come out. They really need to come out, and it's okay.
Exactly. Good points. So with these earth events, and I know we always have earthquakes, right? But you're talking some of the larger ones that may come, but I am getting very much they said it's a collective process. See, this is, okay, so this is, do you remember when I said they brought through that the virus is neutral? It's what we do with it that matters. And at first it's like, how is the virus neutral? Well, it makes so much sense to me now. It is what we do with it. We have our hot potato. What are you going to do with your hot potato? You know what I mean? Or, the virus got thrown into the ring. How are you going to behave? What are you going to do with it? And in raising our vibration and how we deal with this, and in the things we do out of love and caring and kindness, we assist the earth in that as well. We could choose to go the other route and have, riots in the streets and, think about it, right? There would have been a day where that would have happened.
Oh yeah. Over toilet paper.
Well, no, I'm talking.
No, I'm sorry, I was being facetious.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, I misunderstood what you're saying. So that makes sense. Yes. Hopefully not. We don't want that. Right. But we have our own little riots in the stores of toilet paper, I guess. But my point is, back in they just said in more unenlightened times. Oh, and now they're saying, even though you may feel you're still in unenlightened times, they said you would have had chaos. And we're not. Think about this a minute. We're not. We're if you really look at the beauty and grace that's happening with all of this, and we're in the height of the times of this, I don't know. It feels pretty hopeful to me.
It feels pretty hopeful.
So to kind of summarize that part, or this part is, as we behave like the Whoville people in the grant,
yes.
We're raising that vibration because we're opening our heart chakra, we're feeling the emotion, we're giving love, doing kindnesses to each other, and we're not acting out of fear, anger for the most part, right? And we're helping one another. We're also helping the earth in handling her emotions, and therefore working ourselves into a continued higher vibration. Now, okay, so before we finish today, what are you doing the rest of the day?
I think I'm going to go for a run.
Good.
And walk the dog.
And still do that, right?
Yeah.
But this, it's supposed to go like this. Okay? So this is my great-grandmother's scarf. And she was born in the late 1800s. It is her scarf, her bandana she used to wear all the time.
I love it.
I used to live with her when I was 2 and under. She was really important to me. But anyway,
I love it. That's gorgeous, by the way.
Isn't it? I'm going to wear this until I get my masks. But anyway.
Nope, I think that's a good idea. And there's an uptick here, so I'll be wearing my mask.
There we go.
Yep.
And with that, good day, everyone.
Yeah.
Wear your
Thank you
masks.
for watching.
Wear your masks and keep your social distancing and keep your light bright. So, it's just a conversation that Celeste and I get into, and then something pops in. So, as I've always said to you guys, is, take what resonates, some of it, all of it, or none of it. And I just hope it opens up your mind to some other kind of ways of thinking, too. And if nothing else, we've shared what we've received and our thoughts as well. So, again, as I do remind you, Celeste and I have a really neat new service that we are doing for folks where we channel an hour-long session for you on your soul journey. We bring through past lives, we bring through information on questions that you have, but it's really about your soul journey. And like we've said before in describing this service, it's like getting a number of books out of the volumes of your life rather than say maybe a few chapters with one of us. So check out our service. You'll see that below. And you can go to my website, purplerainhealing.com, where you'll see all of my services, and you'll see the one that I do with Celeste as well. Additionally, last week I mentioned that I'm offering a special offer through April, but now it's through May, of a special distance energy healing short session, 30 minutes, for $45. So you also get a channeled short message. You also get a little bit of assessment of the session that I email to you afterwards. So again, 30 minutes, discounted for you. I felt like it was something that people maybe really could utilize at this time, and they've been pretty popular. I look forward to working with you, and as always, thank you so much for joining me in this video, and stay well. I'll see you in the next one.